On a sun-kissed morning, see how Albania got its name. In English, it means Eagle's Country. More than 5,000 miles from Minnesota, it's in southeastern Europe along the Adriatic Sea. The landscape is dotted with hills and mountains and patchwork prairie. But despite its beauty, people must struggle to survive. A daily struggle that slaps the Mayo Clinic team in the face the moment they set foot in Albania. In Renas Airport, they witness a tearful family reunion. The local police don't seem to care. But amid the chaos, a good sign. ARC, the Minneapolis-based American Refugee Committee, has organized the Mayo team's trip. Medical supplies and luggage loaded, the 5 doctors, 2 nurses, and 1 administrator head out into the unknown.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome officially to Albania.
Albania, the poorest country in Europe. There are no parks or playgrounds, so children play in alleys. Drug trafficking is on the rise. Police are everywhere. But for all their problems, Albanians opened their arms to a people even more troubled, the Kosovar refugees.
They consider them as brothers, so that's why they think that they try to give whatever they could, to them.
Albania took 500,000 refugees into a country the size of Maryland. The team took NATO choppers at the crumbling roads. From the air, pulmonologist Dr. Dave Williams sees the Austrian military and refugee camps. The team will work here and also at Albanian hospitals a few miles away in Shkodra.
I didn't anticipate in a city this size roads this poor, frankly.
The roads are only the beginning. People here cannot find work. Buildings are falling apart, including the city's hospitals.
It needs work. It needs work.
The team will give hands-on care as they can and plan how Mayo can best help in the future.
Right there.
Some 400,000 people use this medical system. Since the war, refugees place more demands on the overburdened system. There are 650 beds. A hospital this size in America would have a budget of $100 million. Here in Shkodra, it's a mere $2 million.
Dangerous.
The wiring is slapped together. The day we visited, the hospital had no electricity or running water.
I think they're doing the best they can with what they have to work with.
Sir Maureen French has never seen an OR quite like this. Some equipment dates back to the 1920s.
Never.
Dr. Williams and nurse Linda Sorensen see all kinds of cases. This Albanian woman has tuberculosis.
Where's my interpreter?
But now, doctors here must divide their attention between cases like hers and refugees. Serbs forced this Kosovar from his village.
He has had in his house 2 dogs, and the Serbs burned the house and killed the dogs.
Neighbors helped him.
Listen, hear me.
They walked through the mountains for days.
Therapy begins with you showing interest. You've done something. You've shown interest to come and feel and touch, put your hands on, encourage, and that's what happened here. That's fun. That's when it's really fun to be a doctor. Ah, flowers, yes. Yeah. You take care.
Yeah.
Back in the Austrian refugee camp, you can see how NATO is making a difference.
People who camp are very in security.
The Red Cross camp is well organized and supported by a $71 million Army field hospital. It's home to 3,000 refugees. Without NATO, Albania would have been burdened even more.
Everything burned, everything.
When the Serbs began shelling, this man led his family out of Kosovo.
So he has walked with all his family by foot for 20 hours.
Carrying one child in his arms, the other small child walking, and only a bag of food. They know that their house has been burned, but they want to go back.
So he says that I must go back because it's my homeland, and homeland is dear for all. But the problem is that I don't know where can I stay.
Pretty stirring. It's hard to think that they'll be able to go back and put away the death and the memories for a long time.
But their drive to return is undeniable. Whether they have lost their home and all their belongings,
These are the houses. All destroyed, all burned. Guys told her.
Or something much more dear.
His father has been a soldier to KLA, and the Serbs has been killed.
Leaving her mother to raise her and 8 brothers and sisters. Still, she wants to go home to Kosovo.
And you know her name? No. In American, it's translated hope. Hope, yes.
And it's hope that these American doctors can see in the children's smiles, hear in their laughter.
I find it amazing that there is so much hope. Don't you?
In a people who have lost everything and still show us all how the human spirit survives. In Albania, Lynsay Paulo, Channel 5 Eyewitness News. More than 5,000 miles from Minnesota, Albania seems like worlds away. Europe's poorest country has become home to Kosovars, forced from their country. At its peak, Albania took in nearly 500,000 refugees, more than any other nation.
They feel that they are Albanians and they have suffered a lot. And hospitality is one of the best characteristics of Albanians.
200,000 refugees live with Albanian host families. The rest live in camps. We went with a team of doctors and nurses from the clinic in Rochester as they visited some of those camps. Since April, 2,300 Kosovars called this old abandoned tobacco factory home.
We are going to the headquarters of the Northwest Medical Team.
Hundreds of non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, are working with refugees in Albania.
Hyperventilation syndrome.
At this camp's health clinic, relief workers see 150 patients a day.
Not in the hospital, but outside.
This child has meningitis. His mother has to carry him. She doesn't have a stroller.
And something like a stroller is so very, very valuable to them. You know, like, I mean, it's such a need, and they don't have it.
It's the little things that would mean so much. This woman cooks peppers for 15 people.
It's hard because we have to pick the water, and also because we do not have enough utensils.
What they do have is hope and a smile, even for a stranger, a doctor from a faraway
Hello, Nita. We can play in all this turmoil.
Everywhere the Mayo team turns, there are striking realities.
I'm looking forward to see my house. I'm looking forward to see my friends because I miss them a lot.
This young girl shows us how she's carefully packed her clothing for the trip home. Families pool their money to rent trucks for the trip. In this camp, several hundred refugees are boarding trucks to Kosovo every day. It's home. They want to go back, but many don't know what they'll find when they get there.
All their houses are burned.
This group of college students has sent a scout first.
Okay to take your picture?
Still, they return by the thousands.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the time we got to this camp in Kavahe, it was already empty. The last refugees boarded buses the night before. But many refugees won't have that choice.
We don't envisage that all the refugees will leave Albania.
The sick, the elderly, and those who can't afford a ride back to Kosovo will stay. Nobody knows yet how many there will be. But one relief agency, Minneapolis-based American Refugee Committee, or ARC, will be here for them, even though other agencies are leaving.
NGOs are leaving by the day here. ARC is committed to working in Albania. There are refugees here, and there will be refugees here for a long time.
In a country with a crumbling economy and infrastructure. Still, Albanians have welcomed the Kosovars into their own forgotten country. And now, the world is taking notice.
The populace here and the long term for Albania is looking better now. in that the international community and the press at large has seen the state of this country and what is required here. So money is coming into Albania, but not quickly enough to make an immediate impact. It's going to be a long-term process.
This is right hip.
The Mayo Clinic will help with medical knowledge and training. Minnesotans have already helped, giving $1.5 million in aid through ARC. But as the Mayo team has seen, there's much more to be done to repair a country and help an entire people recover.
You have lots of friends around you, Nita, and they wish the best for you.
In Albania, Lynsay Paulo, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.